our next speaker, who's going to talk about AI in marketplaces beyond the hype. So this is now getting to the nitty-gritty on how to actually do this. Okay, and I'd like to invite up onto stage Fouad Bekkar, who's the VP of Data and AI, so you must know what you're talking about, from Propertyfinder in the UAE. So Fouad, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Fouad Bekkar. I'm the VP of Data and AI at Propertyfinder. The picture was taken 3 years ago, so I was thinner then, so sorry for that. And sorry for the red color, that's our brand. So a little bit about myself. I am a software design engineer by training. Started designing software, then moved to more executive roles in companies, in e-commerce, in real estate, in energy, and in tech. In 2019, I founded my own startup in the AI space and real estate in particular, and that startup was acquired by Propertyfinder, and that's how I joined in 2022 Propertyfinder as the VP of Data and AI. So I'm in charge of all the data content and the AI strategy for the group across the multiple countries that we operate in. A little bit about Propertyfinder. It was founded 15 years ago. And actually, Simon did an interview with the founder of Propertyfinder a few days ago. So I'll encourage you, if you're interested about the story, to watch it on YouTube. You will learn how it started, but there are some juicy things there on how he sold a majority of the shares in the company to REA, bought it back, whether we are going for IPO or not. So the good stuff. So Propertyfinder is the #1 real estate portal in the Middle East. We are #1 in the UAE, in Bahrain, in Qatar, in Egypt. We are also operating in Saudi, and we also are present in Turkey through our investment there. You can see from the countries that we cover more than 240 million people, a cumulative GDP of more than $3 trillion. We serve more than 5,000 customers across the region. We have our business model is the standard model for marketplace, or our subscription model. Flexible pricing that was introduced a few years ago, and I will be talking about that in a minute. And then we have 3 levels of visibility: standard, featured, and premium. So today I'm very excited actually to talk to you about the hype around AI, the different trends that we get and how to deal with those. And also I'll be sharing some practical use cases that we implemented in Propertyfinder. Also good things, I'll be sharing some of the impacts that we've seen for each one of those use cases. This is the second time you see this quote. We tend to overestimate the effect of technology in the short run and underestimate the effect in the long run. It's a very good quote. It hits hard. It's very true. You hear AI, machine learning, computer vision, NLP. Now we are hearing ChatGPT, generative AI, Midjourney, Sora. Chances are you are all hit by a chaos of information, let's say, in the AI space. All these trends come in every year. And the question that you have to answer as leaders is the hype real? And you want to answer that question, so to avoid adopting too early, giving up too soon, adopting too late, or hanging on too long on a technology that will not deliver the value that you are expecting from that technology. So Gartner, they came up with what we call the hype cycle. And they do it for multiple things, and one of them is the AI. And they do the AI hype cycle. So things starts with a technological trigger somewhere, somehow. then people start getting interested. And out of sudden, that trend hits a peak. There is a galvanization of interest around that trend. And that's what we call the peak of inflated expectation. So at that time, we think that that technology can solve everything. So all of our problems will be solved by that technology. It will transform the businesses, and it will create that enormous things in terms of outcome, in terms of value. After that peak of inflated expectations, you get a dose of reality. Reality sits in. You hit what we call the trough of disillusionment. So as I said, reality sits in. You understand that it's hard. Maybe it's not delivering what you expected as fast. There are risks that you didn't think of when you were excited about the trend. And at that time, when you hit that trough of disillusionment, it's where the real work begins. So there are two things that happen. Either you give up, or you start embracing it, harnessing a little bit of the impact, and working on certain use cases to deliver value. When you start doing that, then you hit the slope of enlightenment. You see use case by use case that it creates value for you, and then you hit that plateau of productivity. If we take, for example, generative AI. So this trend that you see here is from 2023. You can see generative AI is at the top of the peak of inflated expectation. 2023, especially the end of 2023, ChatGPT. We see marketplaces taking their name, putting GPT with it, and then saying we are transforming the way people search for properties. Did that happen? Like we all know the answer is no. It's more, the answer to that, we all agree that transformation has to happen on the search model, but the answer to that is very complex, and it's not as easy as I'm gonna launch ChatGPT. So reality sits in. Now I contend that most of the marketplaces are in that trough of disillusionment. So they are looking into use cases, starting to play around with them in a more calm way, and they start seeing a bit of the impact and the value that generative AI it will create. Don't get me wrong, I'm an AI guy. Generative AI is very exciting. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to transform a lot of things. It's just the way we do it, while the hype is there, is not always the right thing to do. So I'm going to start sharing with you some of the use cases in which Propertyfinder has used AI, traditional AI, but also a bit of generative AI to solve some of the challenges that we face as a marketplace. First challenge we had was 3 years ago on the pricing. Our model was subscription, still a subscription model, but it was based on visibility. So we have, as I said before, 3 levels of visibility. We have standard, featured, premium. Each one of those products give you a different level of visibility. Our agents will buy a package, say 100 featured, 2 premium, 1 standard, and they buy it for the year. And then you cannot do anything there. You cannot change the prices at any point in time. You can see already the problem with that, it doesn't take any other thing into account than the visibility. So property is not considered, the market dynamics is not considered, the community in where the property is not considered. So for example, you pay the same price for a listing that will sell for $20 million as a property that will sell for $500,000. So we changed that in 2020. So that was in COVID. Was a bold move. We took a huge number of data that we included into a model. That model takes into account the price of the property, the dynamics of the market, the community, and many other data points. So, and we change it into credit-based. So it's still subscription model, but instead of slots based on availability, you buy a number of credits, and that number of credits, you get it on a monthly basis, and then it's consumed based on the listing itself. So it's a number of credits per listing. A number of credit per listing is a function of expected commission that the agent will get from that property, and the probability of that transaction happening. Expected commission, you can see that it's maybe an easier one to figure out. The probability of the transaction happening is the trickiest part. And it's there where all the science came in. So we took millions of data points and we compute them on a monthly basis to come up with that equation. And we launched that in 2020. The impact was very positive. We got 50% more revenue impact, 60% more supply. And in the beginning, there was some resistance, but at the end, all of our customers, most of our customers are happy with the new model. Not here. Okay. Hello? You here? Yeah. So that was the first challenge we faced, and it's a journey. So we are implementing more machine learning into it to be able to spot some of the pattern that a human cannot see. What are the communities that we can focus on, and how to improve that pricing. The second challenge we faced was the quality of the listing. And I think all the marketplaces are facing the same challenge. We listen to our consumers. We know what they care about and what are the challenges that they have. A listing is price, images, description, some content. And if you look at what do consumers care about the most, it starts with images, and then it goes into content, and then it's floor plan. And I think there was a survey from NAR, National Association of Realtors, that says 87% of people care more about images than they care about the rest. So we had few challenges. Consumers saying that the price is not real, is not fit to the property that is advertised. Images, some of the images are not of high quality. We were the first to introduce something called verified listings. So these are verified by a team, a moderation team, but it cannot scale. They have to go through every listing, look at every image, look at description, do the compliance. So the compliance part, we are lucky in Dubai where the government has done a lot. So they are giving us access to data that we can validate, like the permits, like the data of the property. But in other markets, it's not there yet. So we had to rely on AI. So we built the first model to check the price, and it's a dynamic model that says that can assess the price and says whether the price is real or not, whether it's within the range or not. And then we moved to step 2, where we started analyzing images. So all the things that we do in verification, what is the type of the image, is it a bedroom, a living room, what it contains, is it rotated, is there a big watermark inside? So all of that, we introduced computer vision to be able to do that and scale. Impact, we have removed, just last year, more than 100,000 listings. So these listings, they are either very low quality, they are non-compliant, they are duplicated listings, the price is not right. And we have reduced listing creation by 58% in one of the countries, and we are spreading to the other countries. The third challenge, 1 out of 3 of our consumers, they complained about agent behavior. And also, 30% of our leads, they don't get answer from the agents. So people call or send a WhatsApp, and they don't get an answer, which is a frustrating experience. So what we did, we launched a product called Ada. Ada was a mathematician who who's initiated the first algorithm many years ago. So that ADA analyzes millions of data points. Response rate, the accuracy, the verification, as I talked before, the profile of the agent, the calls, the WhatsApps. And then we launched the super agent. And that's kind of scoring of these agents. So improvements in response time, 70%. We saw also 20% improvement in average listing quality score. The fourth challenge we had, that was on data content that we deliver to our consumer. How can we empower them with data? When we started, we had like one feature, which is like just the price trend. Now we have 20 plus data insights and content that we empower the consumers with. And a lot of this data, we are a 15 years company, so we sit on a huge amount of data on listings, on transactions, and on trends. So we analyze all of those, and we made those features higher quality. And one of those features that we used AI for was the valuation model. So now it's available in multiple cities and in multiple countries, which give you the price and the rent estimate. The impact, 2 times the average session duration. A data guru user versus a non-data guru user. 80% satisfaction from users who are interacting with our product. Last one, use case. One of the challenges we face is we have a motto in Propertyfinder, data beats opinion. So we want everybody to have access to data. In the traditional model, someone needs data, they go to a team, an analytics, and they say, can you please build me a dashboard with those insights? So here, we want to democratize the access to the entire organization. So we launched Alfred. If any fan of Batman knows who Alfred is, the butler. You can just, with natural language, using generative AI, ask your question about any type of data, and it will spit for you the data that you need in a visualization that is easy to understand. Thank you. That's my presentation.
Thank you very much. Bring up the questions. Of course, we've got a bunch of questions because it's nice to hear the practical applications of AI. What is Propertyfinder's moderation and quality control process for new listings?
Yeah, so as I said, the moderation we do moderation also by AI right now. So we check, we do physically, and we are supporting that with AI. The objective is to move to AI completely. We are checking the images. We have a set of guidelines for the images. We are checking the price. We check the permits. We check is the agent authorized to list that property? Is the property available? The details of the property, is there anything that doesn't match? So a lot of effort is done, and I think the hardest part is the image, and I think we solved most of it.
Okay. Do you share probability of, what we got here? Okay. Second one down, asked by Joe. Do you share probability of sale metric used in dynamic pricing model with your clients?
We don't share so it's a transparent model. We don't share the inner of the model and how it works or the different variable because it doesn't help. But it's our clients expect it. So if there is a move in an area, so if an area has a lot of search, the agents would know as well. So they are not surprised by the increase of the price for the listing.
Okay. In your opinion, why is there no or rarely used search bar for natural language search on portals? Yet you go to Google and all things, and that's the only choice, right? Yeah. Why is it field-based search?
Yeah, it's as I said, marketplaces. It's a resilient model. It works. Marketplaces make money out of it. There is, I just tell a story in a company in the Midwest in the US. they had a problem with elevators. People are queuing to the elevator, they are not happy. So they asked Otis, the elevator company, come in to help them. So they said, okay, we changed the cables, we changed the software, they're gonna be innovative, and we are gonna make it faster. Before they did that, someone in the team, in the leadership team said, you know what, before we do that, let's put mirrors, ceiling to floor, between the elevators in every floor. They did that, people stopped complaining. Because people, when they say, I don't wanna wait, actually what they are saying is, I'm bored. So people now with the mirrors, they spend time grooming, spending time on mild voyeurism. So that's helped the, that helped the case.
Yeah, okay.
What I'm saying here is sometimes psychological insight is as valuable as technological advance.
Right.
So you need to understand why people search the way they do. If you change it to natural language, does it help really what they are after?
Okay. And maybe it starts to become a way it gets incorporated by the Googles of the world, because if Google starts the search, it goes to the portal, maybe you can somehow do that leap for them.
Yeah.
So from Google to the search results on Propertyfinder, for example,
Yeah,
and
potentially.
skip that.
Yeah. And it's not all
search.
about just chatbots. The natural way of searching, it can be embedded in so many ways into the marketplace.
Yep. How has dynamic pricing worked? Has it worked well beyond the Dubai market?
Yeah, it worked well across all markets. As I said, first, a little bit of resistance, of fear. You know, naturally you would think, okay, these guys, they are trying just to hike prices. But actually they find that it's very fair. And the metrics are very transparent. So it went very well across all our markets.
Okay. What percentage of AI is used, so the second one down, what percentage of AI use at Propertyfinder is public-facing and announced, and how much is sort of purely internal?
Well, I think this is the first time, no, dynamic pricing, I think our chief strategy officer, he shared once. I shared with you a few. So these are internal models. And public-facing, these are the things that you see as a quality. You don't know that it's AI-driven, but what we care about is the value creation. So when you see a good quality listing, that's what matters.
Okay, last question. I really like the Alfred application of AI, and truly think is one of the best and fastest use cases of AI within portals. How easy or hard was it to implement, and how sophisticated and capable of providing of cross data references?
Yeah, so it's a journey. We started with the pilot, it worked well. Now we are going into more advanced, like what you saw on the last slide. We are also experimenting because we think that's going to be valuable. Like you saw Data Guru, all of these insights, they can also be generated even for consumers through the natural language. So it has a lot of potential.
Okay. Fantastic, Fouad. Like what you're doing. Well done. And thank you for sharing that with us.